I'm here just trying to fix it because it doesn't work again. So bear with me a second. All right, there's a couple of people figuring this out. Yeah, this is, as per normal, a mess. I will give everybody a chance to get in here. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Yeah, per normal. I mean, they're making it even worse. It automatically went to vertical. I set up a new one right away on the camera. It went straight to vertical, even though I changed it to horizontal orientation. They, for some goofy reason, do not want us to do. YouTube has got to be insistent upon these trying to compete with TikTok. That's all it is. So, yeah, it's just a freaking mess. So we'll do it via webcam again, and I'll have to figure out something for when we ever get to giveaways. But I get a feeling that ain't going to be for a while. So, all right. Letting y'all guys get in here. Of course, this doesn't show the head count to what's in here on this. Oh, there we go. 432 people. Okay. All right. Tickety tock. I'm here. I'll give you guys a minute to travel on in. Now it's only Sprite. After this week, I wish it was moonshine. God. All right. I guess we'll get started. There's 750 people in here, and we'll obviously see more as we're going. I don't have to tell you what I've been doing all week. I think you guys have a pretty good idea of what's been going on there. If you guys took a look at the Give, Send, Go, we combined between that and the money in the mail and what came in Cash App and that sort of stuff. We've passed $250,000, guys. That's dumbfounding to me. I mean, remember, I was talking about putting together some buckets and supplies and getting it out there, and just crazy to what's going on. But I'm taking tomorrow off from all of that. I mean, you can probably see it in my eyes. I'm wiped out trying to coordinate all this. I mean, everybody has to understand it was really cool that all the people showed up. I mean, Brett was there, Patera was there, a bunch of you guys showed up to Tuesday and stuff like that. But everybody has to realize those people were all there for a day. Me and Michelle have been doing this, and Diane. I will give Diane in there because Diane's been going nuts too. But the three of us have been the ones that put the fundraising together, got contacts with all the drop-off places. We're the ones doing all the shopping, all the phone calls, everything. I mean, it's just three of us. I mean, I appreciate all the other YouTubers posting the link to the Give, Send, Go and stuff like that more than you can believe. But the legwork, the actual work is being done by three people. So when y'all are wondering what's going on, that's why. It's just the three of us. And I mean, I appreciate a lot of you guys have tried to do other things. A couple of you have put together coat drives, which I've tried to forward that information out. I'll try to, if I remember, I'll try to talk about that tomorrow, where to go on stuff like that. But as much as I appreciate everybody saying, oh, I can get this here, I can order this, all you got to do is go pick it up. I can't do that, guys. I literally don't have the time to do it. I mean, you got to remember, for me to get to Newport is an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on traffic. And so I'm not going to drive somewhere to go pick up a pallet of something and then drive there. I mean, We're talking 5 hours round trip for me to go pick up one thing, when in those 5 hours I'm trying to find baby formula and dog food and protein meats for us, and God knows what, and talking to trucking companies and doing all this. We're doing what we can, but this is way more than any of us figured it was going to be, and we're doing what we can. I appreciate the offers to help, but if you guys are going to try to order something or whatever it is, you're going to have to go get it yourself, and you're going to have to take it there. I can't coordinate that. I can't even coordinate something like another convoy like we did Tuesday, because the money's just too crazy at this point. I mean, when I'm calling up people, it's like, I want to buy $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 worth of stuff and get a semi out there to pick it up. I mean, that's the only way. Even Tuesday from door to door for us was 11 hours to get $50,000 worth of stuff, and you guys all came to help. So you can imagine why I need semis to haul this stuff in. This is where we got. I mean, neither Michelle nor I ever thought we were going to raise this kind of money. We'll handle it. Don't worry. We'll get it done. I'm not I'm not putting this out to say, oh, gee, we'll send you the money to go do it. No, if I wanted to send the money to another organization, I would have told you to donate to another organization. Okay, that's pretty much it. We did the fundraising. We will do the work. We will get it there. I've got people on the ground. Obviously, Diane, there's the other Michelle, who are telling us what their needs are, and that's what we're going after trying to fill. It's not like this is going to be done in a week. So, as we can get stuff ordered, delivered, trucks, whatever it is, it'll keep going. I mean, it may take us a month to get everything out to the people that we need. Who knows? But it's not like this is all going to be fixed by the weekend. So just saying, so please, guys, be patient with us on what we're trying to do. I'm trying to give you the accounting of what's going on with it every day, just so you guys have an idea. But we're going silly trying to keep this going. We'll get it done. The advantage to that is too, and I'll give you this, in 4 or 5 days, North Carolina and Tennessee, I bet, are forgotten. And why do I say that? Because Tropical Storm Milton, which is in the Gulf of Mexico right now, is supposed to turn into a hurricane sometime this week and hit the Florida Peninsula right around Tampa Bay on Wednesday at a Cat 3. And so you can imagine the shiny object for the media, the shiny object, well, no, forget it, because I would say for the government doesn't give a shit. The government's shiny object is Lebanon and Ukraine. All the talk is going to be about Florida, okay? And I'm hoping that those of you guys that are down in Florida know that you're going to get hit by a hurricane that's coming in a few days. I'm hoping you're already making your preparations and go from there. At least the people in Florida kind of somewhat know this is coming. Tennessee, Western North Carolina, no, we don't get hurricanes here. So just bear with us. We're getting it done. We've got to do it at the pace we're doing it. And like I said, Michelle and I are getting what they are telling us they need. We're not just buying whatever and getting it to them. So, when you hear other people say, well, gee, we can help, just send us the money and we'll do it. No, sorry, not that. I know how that stuff works. That's like, well, you know what? You sent us $50,000. We'll put $20,000 in our warehouse fund and we'll spend $30,000. And that's not why you guys donated the money to this family. The Give, Send, Go is run by the Pinball family, nobody else. We're the ones that did it. So, and we're the ones that are going to do it. That's it. Okay. Sorry. I'm just going to be a hard ass on that one. Because the people are going to need help. We've got a lot of you guys have sent me some great ideas on things. And some of them I've run by them and said, hey, have you guys thought about this? Do you need something like that? And some of them, they're like, that's a good idea. Others, they're like, we've already got that taken care of, or that won't work for us, or anything like that. The ideas, please keep those coming. I mean, more minds thinking about how this is going. I've got to stick day to day. Okay. I got to get through Sunday before I can concern myself on Monday. You guys can think about next week, whatever. A lot of you guys had said the coat thing and stuff like that, which is great. If somebody said they checked the weather and it's supposed to be in the 30s in this area coming up the end of this week or something. I didn't even know that. Okay. And that was when all of a sudden people were like, we got to get a coat drive. We got to get something going. It's like, okay. So the churches are handling coat drives. That's different. So how they're putting it together, that's cool. I mean, this is everybody trying to come together with a whole bunch of people that have never really dealt with anything on this scale before. So, and certainly I've never dealt with anything on this scale. I mean, you guys know what we do. I mean, it's like Christmas time, we go and we get, 3 or 4 trucks full of groceries, and that's it. Not pallets full of them and $50,000 worth, and go, gee, wonderful. We've still got another $175,000 we've got to distribute that we haven't even got yet. There's the other thing that's handcuffing me and Michelle is we'll probably see the first pieces of the money that we get from the Good Give Send Go on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. And we're hoping then we have to wait then it's 3 days before we can ask for another withdrawal of whatever's made, because remember when you put your credit card through at, say, Walmart, it's instantly debited from your account, but it's not instantly credited to their account. They got to wait a couple of days till they get it. Same thing with Give Send Go. So then once they get it, then they got to ACH it to us, which takes a couple of days. And it, like one of the things I was dealing with today, trying to get this baby food, right? Got all the orders. She's like, we've got this. I'm like, cool, I want it. No problem. I got the truck lined up. We're ready to go, everything like that. I'm like, okay, how do I need to pay you? She goes, well, we only take bank wires and cashier's checks. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's like, what company doesn't take a credit card? Even when you're doing business to business, most businesses go, hey, you know what? Put it on the credit card. That was how I was going to do it. So now I either have to get a cashier's check and drive 4 hours to go give them a cashier's check, or what we're going to do is wire it. And then, of course, we got to pay for a bank wire. So it's just this is the big issue that we run into. It seems that every company that we're trying to get stuff, the banks, the stores, are making it as difficult as possible to get aid to these people. I mean, I called one grocery store and I wanted to get baby formula, and the manager was all thrilled about trying to help us. And he calls corporate, and corporate says, if we sell that much, we'll lose our WIC certification. Great. Okay, so you can't do it. Walmart has come out and said, we can't do any orders. So the only thing that we can get from the warehouses is enough to keep their stores fully stocked. I'm like, okay, cool. So we can't get anything from you unless we go in there and buy the stuff right off the shelf. It's just, those are the challenges we're facing. So as I get new requests for things, they say, I mean, I'm just going to make something up here. Don't anybody say, if somebody says we need Post-it pads, okay. If I'll tell you guys what they need. And if anybody says, hey, I work for the company that makes Post-it notes, we can get you 6 pallets. Sure, call me. But, somebody says, hey, I've got 6 pallets of Allen wrenches. Do you guys need those? No, that's it. It's what we are focusing on. What Michelle and I are focusing on is getting them the food, the prepper stuff, the food, the hygiene, the water, and potentially the power. Depending on how much money this comes in, I may get a hold of Elliot and just say, you know what, send us 50 freaking generators and do something like that and get those out there. I don't know. I mean, it's just a thought I've had, but no way did I expect we'd have $250,000 already, and it ain't stopping anytime soon. So I think between last night when I went to bed and this morning when I got up, there was like $30,000 more. So that's how insane this is going. I assume it's going to slow down, but Fridays are payday. So everybody's like, okay, I can help today. I got my paycheck. And so that was it. So we'll see what happens. So that's kind of what's going on here. And if I sound bitchy about it, trust me, I don't mean to be. That's not the way I'm trying to come across. I'm tired. I'm frustrated from dealing with a lot of these people, and it's just been a long week. Okay. As Mrs. P said, we've got to take a day off from doing all this because all the stuff that we're not doing, I mean, give me this. I was supposed to put my cabbage in the ground this week. Well, rain kind of stopped that at the end of last week, and then everything I've been doing this week, it's still sitting in its cups, so I may not have a fall crop. Not that this is the only reason for it, but I mean, I've got a lot of stuff that I need to get done. As Mrs. P and I said, we got to do laundry, stuff like that's got put to the wayside because we're driving all over the place and doing stuff. So, we got to take care of us too. We do no good to anybody if we're no good to ourselves. So that was it. All right. Somebody just popped in there. New Jersey Prepper, thank you for the super sticker there. Appreciate that. A couple of things. If anybody, most of you guys probably know who Benny Johnson is, the Benny Show. Okay, big YouTuber. He did an interview with General Flynn. You guys need to go watch that, Michael Flynn. Okay, the bullshit stories that we are getting out of the media. Oh, there's 200 dead, as Michael Flynn has said, and he's boots on the ground. Okay. He goes, no, that number's more like 2,000. I will give you this. I got an email from somebody today asking me, get this. This is a question. Somebody asking me if I knew where to get body bags. Think about that. Okay. No, I don't know where to get body bags. There's a lot more death and destruction out there than we know. Diane emailed me today that the current count on the houses in Newport alone that have been completely destroyed. Newport does not have a big population, guys. The houses that have been completely destroyed is over 200. You're talking a good portion of that city's population. I think Newport's only a town of like 2,000 people, something like that. Just saying. Okay. Yeah, the town is wiped out. I don't even want to know what Greenville or Irwin or any of these other cities that are further east have gone through. Though that's kind of what we're in. The devastation is astronomical, and we got another hurricane hitting. But go watch that interview with Michael Flynn. That will open your eyes as to what's going on out there. If you want to listen to something, and I posted this in the chat before, I'm going to put a link up here for you guys right now. And give me just a second here. Y'all know who Bill Fortune is, right? The guy who wrote 1 Second After. He actually lives in the Black Mountain area around Asheville. The whole story was centered in that area. He knows the area because that's where he lives. The link I just put up there is an interview with Bill Fortune about his experience going through Hurricane Helene and how eerily similar it is to the book. You might want to take a listen to it. Okay. So Kelly Prepper, yes, I know Zelle transfers account to account in 10 minutes. The only problem is I'm not a business. I don't have a EIN number, so anything like that. So I can't open up a bank account in the name of Pinball Preparedness. And no offense, I'm not publishing my bank account information on a YouTube channel. So that ain't happening. Yeah, great idea, but no, that would have to be here's my bank account information, transfer money here. No, that would be a big problem. So yeah, so that's a couple of things to go on there. couple of things to listen to that would enlighten you, inform you as to what's truly going on. I know a lot of you guys have been watching a lot of the different YouTube channels about their experiences. Just remember that while there are a lot of people that do great work, there are also some that are using this as trying to use this opportunistically. Okay. Be careful when people are asking for donations. Be careful with some of the stories they're telling you. They may not tell you the whole story. It's kind of like that thing we were finding about confiscation of food. And when I started to dig deeper and talk to people about exactly why, and then I was hearing the story about probably what's going on, what these counties are trying to do, then it starts to make a little bit of sense. But that's not the sensationalism that people want, because everybody's so click happy. I got to get clicks. I got to get clicks. Well, you know what? I've found if you tell the whole truth, people have a tendency to give you more clicks for a longer time. You want to be a hit and miss. I got 1 million clicks on this video, and you lied and you have no credibility anymore. You'll never again. You tell the truth, you find out the facts, like I try to do, and people have a tendency to come back and listen again. So just my opinion. The people that want to go out there and say, look at all the damage out here, taking advantage of the situation and not doing anything to help. Yeah, okay, no. If I wanted to see all the damage and talk to somebody that didn't want to help, I'll talk to the Joe Biden administration. Okay, that's it. FEMA's been out here for 9 days. Supposedly they've been in Tennessee once. And the only thing FEMA's done in Tennessee in 9 days now is take pictures. That's it. No help for the state, but they took pictures. Cool. Okay. It's going to be a long night. All right, so let's get into Q&A. There are a lot of new people on the channel, which is good. Hopefully we've got some people that are going, hey, you know what? Maybe these preppers aren't as crazy as we thought they were. Maybe they're onto something here. So I'm hoping some of the people in here are new. If you are, welcome. We do this, unless it's absolutely nuts, every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. The format is pretty much always the same. It's long Q&A for you guys. Okay. So rules are pretty simple around here. If you've got a question for me, please put it in all caps in the chat. That way I know it's directed at me. I wholeheartedly encourage everybody to have conversations amongst themselves. I will be the first to admit I don't have all the answers, okay? But somebody in here probably does. And, as I used to joke all the time, if somebody asks me how to milk a goat, I'm not going to be able to tell you, but I guarantee you there's a dozen people in here who know how to milk a goat, so maybe they can answer it. The only rule we have that'll get you in trouble is being an asshole, okay? I require you to be polite to everybody else, be nice, be on your best behavior, think before you, engage brain before putting fingers in gear. You want to be rude, go somewhere else, okay? We have no patience for that. That's automatic, tossed out. The moderators are excellent at doing that. Sometimes too good. Sometimes like, wait a minute, why? That wasn't that bad. But yeah, disagreement, okay? I don't expect anybody to agree with me 100% of the time. Mrs. P doesn't agree with me all the time, okay? Disagreement is totally cool. Different opinion is totally cool. Just be polite about it. That's all I'm asking. You want to bitch about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Have at it. That's cool. You can call them every 4-letter word in the book, and I won't have a problem because that's factual information. All right, let us get to the top. See what the questions are in here. So we'll roll through this. North Alabama hiking. After doing some research, I found out that TVA has a safety plan for civilians on their website describing what to do to stay safe in case of floods. Good info for the Tennessee Valley. Good to know because I didn't know that. So if you're anywhere around here, I guess go look at the TVA website and see what to do in case of floods. Nothing like a guy in Alabama have to tell us to do it. I don't worry about it too much. My house is 80 feet higher elevation than the high water mark of the lake. So if my house is underwater, I'm expecting to see Noah go down the street. Who's your daddy? Tried to send a donation to the Give Send Go twice, never went through. Ended up sending it to Ryan Hall. Okay, and again, I don't control these things. Cash App was an absolute piece of shit. When this is all done, the CEO is going to get one hell of an email from me telling him that I will never use their service again. If you notice, I've taken it down off of my channel because Cash App is absolute garbage. When a situation like this and donations are coming in and I call them and spend 5 hours on the phone with them and they can't figure out that this isn't fraudulent, F them. Okay. So yeah, I will preach from the highest mount to anybody and everybody to never use Cash App, just like I will say never use PayPal and never use GoFundMe. Okay. They are all crap organizations, and I will never do business with them again. And keep it safe. The Give Send Go was giving money at the time of donation. They still take a percentage. Okay, I'm not quite sure I understand your email. Yes, they do take a percentage. I believe it's, if I remember correctly, it's 2.7% of whatever the donation is, plus 30 cents for the donation. And I kind of walked this through in a video the other day. How that could turn out to be different percentages based on the dollar amount you bring in. That's why Michelle and I are not going to go figure this all out by hand, okay? Because there's 3,000 donations in there. Spend all day with a calculator. They have it all in computerized to do it. When we're done, they'll give us the spreadsheet and we'll know what the fees are. But no, they aren't given the money at the time of the donation. They're given the credit by the bank, but the money hasn't actually gotten to them from the bank. Okay, that's the thing. I mean, this whole everybody thinks, gee, the dollars came out of my account. Yes, the dollars came out of your account, but the money, the actual greedbacks, the actual ledger entry didn't miraculously go in where they can spend that money instantly. I get how they're doing that. That's normal business. It's me. Goodness, they make it hard on you. You have no freaking idea. You know, it's like every time a business does something different, it's like, thanks, you just made that I've got to make 5 more phone calls, you know, because again, you know, Michelle and I are trying to do all this. We got to get the money from Give Send Go. It goes to her. Then depending on what I spend, it's got to get to me. And then I've got to get it to the vendor, you know, and if I can do it on a credit card and then she can just reimburse me, that's great. But if she's got to give me the money so I can give it to the vendor, trust me, I spend, my days are pretty well scheduled out. It's like, make the morning video, go to the bank, get the funds, deposit all the funds, spend the rest of the morning doing the accounting work so I can make the lunch video so I can tell you guys what's going on. So now I've already been going for 6 to 8 hours a day, and then I can start doing the actual work to get the supplies to people. That's why 7 o'clock at night, I'm still going. You know, as long as a business is open, I'm still calling them. Rick's Corner. Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. Believe it, you're right. Yes, you do. Sometimes you just got to walk away, clear your head, go do something else. That's it, you know. So, Mary McIntyre says, thank you very much for letting me post my link for my campaign for Hurricane Helene help. Yeah, Mary's doing stuff for blankets, coats, clothing, stuff like that. So she posted her link in the community board. So that's over there. Joseph Cook, I might want to spend some of that money and order Starlink for people who have no communications. We've thought about it. I don't think we're not that far yet. There's other groups, Elon Musk himself, that is doing things like that. we're trying to focus on what we do. Okay. Because, I've had people that say, can you help South Carolina? Can you help Georgia? Can you help North Carolina? No. Okay. We're trying to focus on 2 areas, maybe 3 if you include Irwin in there, but we don't have excess stuff that we send to the 2 can get to Irwin. They do share. We've all talked about that. But I don't want to be a jack of all trades, master of none. We are trying to stick to what we as preppers know best. And so, that way we can get what we know are critical items to them. When you're hungry, having the internet does you no good. Okay. It's not like these guys are going, oh my God, thank God I have the internet. I can order a pizza. The guys are going, I got the internet. Boy, I would rather have a pizza. So we're trying to get the pizza, not literally, but you know what I mean. Prayful EA Opus is selling its Mega 1 generator for $499. I put the links up today for this morning's video on Opus's big sale that's going on that started today, and then deals that Elliot's put out for the hurricane victims, that if we want to get involved in that, we can. I've mentioned the Opus Help Program. Elliot's sending generators. I mean, I'm like a circus clown juggling here, okay? I mean, I've got so many balls in the air at once, I need an extra hand. Let's see. Ramon Alvarado, thank you for the super chat. I'm proud of you, Pinball, for all you do for the help. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Those of you that have been around long enough, my story. I mean, I went through Sandy, but I didn't lose everything, stuff like that. I mean, I was in Boston, so it wasn't terrible up there. It was bad, but it wasn't terrible. I've been through my fair share of minor disasters, ice storms and stuff like that. Nothing like this, okay? But you guys know I've gone through homelessness. Those of you who've been through a divorce know, especially as a guy, how you just get everything ripped out. Everything is taken away from you. You have no rights, and you get nothing. But yeah, I know what it's like to have nothing. And so when stuff like this happens and I can help, it's kind of my way of paying back. Funny as it is, paying back my friends that helped me at the time. And one of the big helps that I got when I was in Utah was the Mormon church. And I'm not Mormon, okay? But the Mormon church was there to help me. The VA helped. So this is my chance kind of to pay it back as well. Plus, I don't want to see anybody destroyed like this. So, Dawn Hill, we understand and we're all very thankful that you are doing this for fellow Americans. I'm not doing this. We all are doing this. This is a team effort. This is the whole family coming together. I mean, when they say it takes a village, the hell with the village. There's 100,000 of us. There aren't many villages that have 100,000 people. It's taken the whole damn city. So that's what we're doing. This is a joint effort of the entire pinball community and then other communities coming in to assist us as well. Linda Bopp, is any of these donations going to impact your income taxes for the year? Michelle is already on with an accountant dealing with this. It shouldn't, because it's basically a pass-through. We've got receipts for everything. We will spend it right down to the penny. If the IRS ever said, oh my God, you got $250,000, what did you do with it? Here, we spent it all in a freaking week and a half or whatever it was. And, because everybody goes out and buys $50,000 in one day at Sam's Club, right? The documentation will be very easy that it's a pass-through. They should actually be happy, because the fact that we're not a 501c3, it's not like any of the donations we got, anybody can write off their taxes. We're not writing them off our taxes or anything like that. I mean, that would be kind of funny. Yeah, your income was $50,000 and you wrote off $250,000. That's kind of interesting. How'd you manage to do that one? Right. No, we're not writing off. There's no way for us to write off anything. So we can just show it's just a pass through. This is volunteers. I use this as an example. This is no different than your neighbor saying to you, "Hey, you're going to the store. Here's $5. Can you buy me a gallon of milk when you go there?" You take the $5 from him, you buy the gallon of milk, you come home, you give the gallon of milk to your neighbor, and you say thanks. Okay, it's not like you got to report that $5 as income because it wasn't. So that's kind of my analogy. Whether the IRS agrees with me or not, I don't know. But Michelle's dealing with an accountant, so we got that going on. But yeah, that's just another thing that we've got to add to the mix that we're doing here. Susan M1224, generators, camp chef stoves, propane tanks, community wells, possible small campers for areas to live in, not something we're getting involved in. Again, the generators, yeah, I can do that. I'm not even going to try to source propane tanks. You can imagine how crazy that would be, trying to find AmeriGas or somebody to do that. Not getting involved in that. I'm not buying camp chef stoves. I'm certainly not buying campers for people to live in. You know, they need housing. Go talk to Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton donated $2 million in there. You know, the way I look at it is, okay, Dolly donated $2 million. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. You got 200 people that lost their houses. Give each one of those 10 grand, and that paid in that area rent for a year or something like that. You know, that if I'm running the show, that's how I'm using that money. Okay, because what are we going to do? We're going to help. I mean, we could take everything we have and do the same thing and help what, 20 people? You know, not quite the same. Gizmo 9067. Would I be willing to share what you put in the buckets so we could make up buckets for just in case we need for our own area? Sure. They had 11 things in there. So, and these were what they said they wanted. Let's see if I can remember what I got in there. It was for cleaning supplies. We had Pine Sol, a jug of laundry detergent, sponges. I think that covers cleaning supplies. I'm gonna count. All right, then for hygiene, we had toothbrushes, a tube of toothpaste, bars of soap, a bottle of shampoo, a stick of men's deodorant, a stick of women's deodorant. We put in cigarette lighters and a roll of contractor grade trash bags. That was pretty much everything that was on their list that was, I don't want to say easy to get, but it was available without having to run around. Too bad. It still took me 5 stores to make 100 buckets with all that stuff in it. Buzzard Prepper. It's going to start getting cold in a few weeks. Another hurdle for those impacted for sure. Right. And that's why, like I said, the people that are trying to do coat drives and stuff like that, it's greatly appreciated. They're going to realize how fast and how difficult that's going to get, because if people are starting to ship them coats and things, you know, all of a sudden on your front doorstep or whatever they're using as the mailing, you know, and there's 100 boxes that you've got to open up and figure out, okay, this is a man's coat, this is a woman's coat, this is a kid's coat, and then you've got to store it, you got to put it somewhere. You'd be amazed how fast this gets haywire for you, and you're trying to figure out what to do. So it's needed, don't get me wrong. But when anybody comes up and says they're willing to help and you can take it, but don't take the help as I can do this and give you more work. If you're volunteer to do something and somebody's trying to give you more work, that's not helping you. That's causing you problems. Okay. You know, when they say I want to do this, that's them to do. That's it. It's one of the things, like everybody's saying to me, can we send you tubes of toothpaste, or can we send you cans of beef stew or whatever? Not unless it's coming on a pallet. And then the problem is I'm going to tell you to send it straight to them, because if it comes to me, then it's load it, unload it, reload it, unload it again. We're doing extra work. If you can load it and unload it, that's what we're trying to get done. Miss Mischief, David Axelrod, the biggest asshole in the world, said upscale Asheville residents would make it to vote for Harris. Rural folks wouldn't be able to make it to vote for Trump. I'm going to push hard for what I suggested at lunch. And I'm going to, one of my other projects, once this is all done, I figure I get this started in a couple of weeks, is get organizations put together, whether it's getting school buses or party vans or whatever it is in some of these areas. And I'm certainly going to encourage everybody else to try to do this too, because again, I'm one guy, all right? But all those communities in North Carolina, get flyers posted, get something put out that you're going to run a shuttle service from the gas station to the polling place on election day, in all the places in Georgia, in all the places in Tennessee. See, the deal is this. The law says, and this is where David Axelrod is a big asshole, the law says that the Secretary of State of each state must make it available for every person, every eligible voter to be able to vote. Okay. That doesn't mean that they have to transport them or something, but it does mean that, oh, gee, we have these affected areas. We might need to change where our polling places are and make it more closer to where the shelters are or anything like that. Okay. My big thing is, yeah, and as I said today, if Trump loses Georgia, swing state, Trump loses North Carolina, swing state, we have 4 years of Kamala Harris, guys. I'm just telling you, that's how important these two states are, that they stay red. Okay. And, you know, again, the pieces of shit that are the Democrats, Axelrod saying, well, you know, the upscale Asheville residents will make it. Sure, because where's all the FEMA aid going to? Asheville, because the Democrats, the Biden administration, is making sure the Democrats are taken care of, and he's giving a big middle finger to all the conservatives. That's the truth, okay? That's where all the aid's going. Don't tell me, oh, gee, Asheville's more damaged. No, Asheville's nowhere near more damaged than Greenville or Irwin or anything like that. It's trashed. So are these areas completely. It's just, they've turned this completely political. The relief funds, they've turned it completely political. They're basically, the federal government is only helping the blue areas. Okay, give me that. They're making token gestures in the red ones, but where the Axelrod is right, where the efforts are being made to get people's lives back together, it's in Asheville. H. In all this, people are quickly finding out how much the federal bureaucracy truly hates traditional America, but most importantly, Americans are finding out how much we don't need anything from the government. That's the one thing I hope to God people are waking up for. You know, when all these people in, any red area still has blue voters. And when any of these people that are going, I'm really going to vote for Kamala Harris, I'm really hoping they're going, shit, my house was just destroyed. I don't have any food. I'm sitting out here cold. And the person that came to help me walked in with a Trump hat on. And where's your savior of all saviors, Joe Biden? Oh, he's sitting on the beach eating an ice cream, and Kamala Harris is out in a fundraiser in California having a glass of wine while you're going, I'm knee deep in mud here and have no house. Somebody posted we always have some pieces of shit that come in and comment on the videos, typical liberals. And the guy's like, oh, tell me what Trump's done. I'm like, well, let me see if I got this straight. Last time I checked, his fundraiser had raised something like $6.5 million. He's already donated multi-millions of dollars of his own money to the hurricane victims. He's actually shown up twice to help the aid workers and whatever he can do. Now, remind me again what Joe Biden did. Oh, he flew over Asheville real quick and looked out the window and then forgot about the storm. Tell me about Kamala Harris. She did an 11-minute photo op and a speech in front of a broke-down house. How much money has Kamala Harris or Joe Biden donated out of their own pocket to help anybody? I can give you the exact figure. It's a big round number. Okay. No. These two absolute. If there was a reason for abortion, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris should be the poster child. You know, this is what you have when you don't have an abortion, right? The world would be a better place if both of them were aborted. Yeah. Renee LaRue, Patera said she and her husband are both sick, so they're taking a few days off. Yeah, I know. I saw something on her video. She was losing her voice and stuff like that. I know she's been running like crazy. She went to Irwin. I don't know if she went to Greenville. I know she went to Irwin. I think she went to Mountain City. I know she was there with us for, helping us with Newport. That was for sure. And again, all the people that she's talking to and being around. I mean, how does a cold spread or whatever from person to person? If she's around hundreds and hundreds of people, all it takes is one. I mean, that's the thing. That's what you start worrying about now is now we're starting to get into cold and flu season. Great. Let's get all these people now that have lost everything. Let's get them sick. I mean, one of the things I heard from Diane today was one of the big needs that they have is for Benadryl. And you think, why do they need Benadryl? And then she gave me the reason, and it makes a lot of sense. You have all the yellow jackets who obviously have their burrows in the mud or whatever it is. Well, that's all flooded. So the yellow jackets don't know where to go. So the yellow jackets are out there storming like crazy. And when people are swatting them away, they get stung. And you have a lot of people, of course, obviously, that have bee sting allergies. And apparently there's a bunch of people that are going to the hospital with all the other stuff they have going on at hospitals with bee sting allergies. So, one of the things Michelle was out there today was she was hitting all the drugstores and buying all the damn Benadryl they've got so we can get that out there to them. Oh, yeah, just in case nobody heard this evening, Unicoi County Hospital has now been turned into a makeshift morgue. The entire hospital, they're turning into a morgue temporarily. How about that? 200 people, right? Go watch Michael Flynn. Tony DG 9410, what channel interviewed Michael Chin? That was The Benny Show, Benny. You can look him up on YouTube as The Benny Show or Benny Johnson. You will find him. So, Farm Ranch says Newport population is roughly 7,000 people. Okay, thank you. A little bigger than I thought. All right. I talked about that one. Okay, we don't need to go over that. Sam Carpenter, did you see all that? Did you all see that Elon Musk called out FEMA for giving his people a hard time when they were trying to get Starlink systems into the damaged areas? Oh yeah. I mean, they were doing anything to stop Elon Musk from getting Starlink put in. Like, oh, you're getting in the way of our rescue. No, actually, we're probably making it easier because there's communication. And if somebody maybe has communication out there, that family member, and sent an email, hey, we're stuck, now somebody can get it. It's some of these other ones. If you saw North Carolina state troopers have now said if FEMA gets in the way of anybody trying to donate supplies, FEMA or the NC State Police are going to arrest the FEMA agents. Good. Okay. Then there was another story that was south of Asheville where you had some FEMA agent get all arrogant with a bunch of people, and so the people beat the shit out of them. Good. Okay. FEMA is going to learn real quick that they're not actually the friendlies right now. People are pissed at them because they haven't done squat. Southern Lady, Pinball, you can order from Dollar Tree online and they deliver to your local store and you can order big amounts. Yes, right. Okay. I've got that, but I don't need a pallet of Speed Stick, things like that. That where we need big stuff is food and water. Trying to source water is insane. I mean, depending on where you are, pretty much anybody that's within 2 hours of where this all happens, you've gone into the store and you know there is no water. That's because it's all been bought and shipped out there because they've got no running water. Let's see. Susan Dozier, would playpens for infants be something they need? Maybe, but that's not a priority by any means. I mean, we're not looking at furniture or anything like that. I mean, again, we're talking about basic necessities: food, water, power, clothing, though other people are handling the clothing. I mean, the basics. Okay, we're not, if somebody came up, I mean, I'm waiting for this, like I said, the car seat thing. I looked at that and I go, no, sorry, no, that's not a necessity. When they start coming to me and saying, well, yeah, now we need, big screen TVs are the next thing we need. I'm gonna be like, I'm out of here. See ya. No. Hedge 774. Gee, here's telling you that FEMA is full of shit with the news media they're putting out. My buddy's an EMT from Knoxville. He was sent to Newport to retrieve approximately 250 bodies. Except, according to FEMA, the total death count is somewhere around 220. Somehow we've got an extra 30 bodies that just appeared somewhere in one city. Right. Okay. DH, 2 days ago, Google AI said Helene was seated. Today it says AI can't answer that question. Of course not. Isn't that convenient? Conspiracy Mama, no bank accounts and no real names. People do crazy things. I try my best to keep my anonymity. I know some people know my name, which is fine, but it's not like I'm going to broadcast it. But I'll be damned if anybody's getting the bank account information. No. Yeah, I know somebody's going to say, well, we send you a check. Sure, you send me a check. I deposit the check, and then the check gets shredded because I just take a picture of it and it goes to the bank, and the rest of it goes to the shredder. Okay. I'm not posting my bank account information online. I'm sorry. I was born in the morning, but it wasn't yesterday morning. Let's see. Daddy of 3, Mama of 3, or Daddy of 3, Mama of 3 here. We are collecting fleece to make blankets for the children. They need a comfort item. Also consider some gluten-free food as donations. What we're focusing on in the way of food is what they've asked us to, and that's something that's meals, single-serve meals, proteins, and something that does not need water. So buying macaroni and cheese does them absolutely no good. A, they got pretty much no way to cook it, most of the people, and B, they've got no water to make the macaroni worth the shit. So, you can open a can of Chef Boyardee and eat it cold. I've done that hundreds of times in my life. For a can of Dinty Moore, it ain't as good as when it's hot. But when you're hungry, you don't care. But you're not going to open up a can of macaroni and cheese and start crunching on macaroni. So that's the thing. Kelly Prepper, you only need the name, email, or phone number. You don't share that personal information. I use it weekly to pay for my boat rent. I will tell you this. If you want me to get Zelle, within 5 minutes, I can figure out your bank account number. Okay. And I'm not a hacker, but it ain't hard. Okay. No problem there. John Morton, I just wanted to say thank you for stepping up to help those in need. Hopefully, by your actions, people might realize that prepping's not crazy. What I hope this opens people's eyes to is not only that it's not crazy, but people go, you know what? Maybe that's a good idea, honey. Maybe we should put some stuff away. And like I said the other day, I get it if you got all these preps and suddenly your house is going down the river and you lost everything. I get it. It's not the perfect answer. But it's the same thing, like I say, with like the EMP shield on my house. Okay. If it works, great. If it doesn't, okay, I'm out. I'm out the $300 I paid for it. But I guarantee you, if I have nothing there, I guarantee you it doesn't work. Okay. So prepping is, again, one of those things that you hope it's there when you need it. But if you don't do anything, guaranteed you don't have anything when you need it. That's basically the logic. And I'm hoping people go, you know what? It's a good idea. Maybe I should buy some more food, or maybe I should put some water back. Because again, if you notice who the help is coming from for all these towns, we're not from FEMA, okay? But if you start looking at who the channels are, the volunteer organizations that are coming through that are helping, okay, at scale, all right, it's preppers and churches. I mean, companies are helping, sure. A company may have a truck, and then they're collecting donations from the community. And so the community comes and says, here, I brought a case of water. Here, I brought a package of donuts. Where the prepping community is going, here, we brought a truck full of water. Here, we brought a truck full of diapers. Okay, this is the thing. Why are we able to do this? Because all our needs are covered. Now, granted, we also didn't get whacked by the storm, okay? But we're able to do this because we know what's needed, and we don't have to spend time. I don't have to spend time going to the grocery store. I got to do laundry and stuff like that, clean my house, okay? But I don't have to spend that 2 hours going back and forth to the grocery store. I have time where I can do stuff with them. That's it. You know, I'm hoping people wake up and go, you know, my grandparents always had food put away. Maybe they were right, you know, instead of these, well, you know what? I just ordered from Grubhub every night. And all of a sudden, Grubhub ain't open anymore. David Haley, I've only been watching you and Patera. God bless you both. Well, I'll say good that you're watching Patera, and thank you for watching me. So, Kathleen Young, would it be possible to get a couple of the Idaho water purifiers so they could set up a few water stations? We thought about that. The only problem is we'd have to be able to get hundreds upon hundreds of filters, because if I remember correctly, the reverse osmosis and the charcoal filter, one of them's good for like 400 gallons and one of them's good for 600 gallons. And then you've got to change the filter out. And I thought about the idea, but it would be, you'd be changing out a filter every couple hours. And then you have to have somebody that knows how to do it. And then the problem that you get is if somebody forgets to change the filter and they pour dirty water in there, then you've got chemicals in the water or something. I mean, if you saw, where was it? I was watching Permapasture's Farm. Billy was talking, I forget what town he was in, but the town was devastated, of course. And he said there was a PVC plant that was right down on the river that everything they had got washed into the water. And so you had all these plastics and chemicals and everything that was in the water. As the lady he was interviewing said, there's dead bodies floating around. The water's toxic. And so you and I know how to filter the water, but you put this out in the hands of somebody who's never done it or whatever, and it could cause more problems. We thought about it, and the more I thought about it, I'm like, it's probably not a good idea. Von Mousetrap, Mr. P, I'm all for buying solar generators and donating them. We may get that far, okay? It may be to the point where as the money keeps coming in and we can't get any more food, I'm going to solve the solar problem or the electricity problem somehow. Kentucky Survival 76, but the states should not be using private donations to cover their percentage. Okay, so and I know what you're getting at, what I was telling you today about the 15%. But imagine this. These are, I hate using the word poor, but these are less affluent communities, okay? The median income there is lower middle class. And I mean, trust me, when I'm passing housing that's single wide trailers that look like they were built in the 70s, that gives me a good idea of the income out there. But So the county would have to come up with 15%. Well, they're asking for a lot more than $1 million. You know, they need 10 million, they need 100 million, whatever it is. Let's just say they need $10 million. Well, that means the county has to come up with $1.5 million that they are committed to using for relief. Well, that may be more than the county has to fix the roads, pay the school teachers, keep the traffic lights running, whatever it is. They'd have to take all that money away from those services. So I totally get why they are trying to count the private donations as their 15% so they can get the money, because otherwise FEMA doesn't give them anything, guys. Just so you know, they've got to show they can do 15%, or FEMA says, bye, never mind. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you what I found out. I think it's a stupid rule by FEMA. It's like, you know what? You were just hit by a hurricane. What can we do to help? But then again, that would be the federal government that, you know, the only place they want to spend money is place where they get kickbacks from the people they're spending money to. You know, if you think all these politicians got rich on the $150,000 they make, you're smoking crack. Okay. Even if you're the world's greatest stock picker like Nancy Pelosi is, that's not where they got rich. Okay. They got rich because, you know, well, you know what? We're going to sign this federal contract. I'll vote yes on it. And so when you get the federal contract, you kick me back 20 grand. That's how they get rich. Blessed in Tennessee, 100% for generators. They can use them. Okay. It's a couple. It may come to that. I'll talk to Michelle. I'll talk to Diane. We'll talk to the other Michelle and see what they think. That may be something that happens. I mean, I know there's people that are donating gas generators. I've seen those go in there. I know it's not FEMA because FEMA gave all the gas generators to Ukraine. So, you know, that's not helping. But, you know, then the problem is you got a gas generator. What happens when you run out of gas? You know, at least hopefully we don't run out of sun. Vicky, after seeing what you've seen, is there anything different that you would do or increase in my preps? Yes, but okay. After you go watch the Michael Flynn video, you'll know what I want more of. And I'm going to leave it there because if I talk about that, I'd probably get the channel shut down. Okay. Go watch the Michael Flynn video. You'll know exactly what I want. Let's put it this way. What I want more of will give us less of something else. That should be a good enough hint to figure that one out after you watch that. I'm going to go a little bit long here, guys, because of the delay. So I'll probably go through a few more questions. We'll go till like 10:15. Old Mutt, about 6 months ago, I started $50 a month to Grindstone Monastery Ministry. Yeah, no, Bear's not a monk. But yeah, and he has that ability because, you know, they are a 501c3. He's got a warehouse where they can get storage and things like that. That's what he wants to do. He's building a online church for the most part. I'm not trying to turn this into a charity channel. Okay. This is a prepping channel. This will always be a prepping channel. This will always be the way it's always been for the last 4+ years on what we've done. Actually, we're going to hit the 4-year anniversary in a couple of days. But we're going to 20, 21, 22, 23. No, we'll hit the 5-year anniversary for the channel here on Tuesday. Wow. Can't believe it's been 5 years already. Okay. But yeah, I'm not trying to turn this into a charity channel. When things happen, we'll help. Okay. To the best of our ability. But there's not going to be any make monthly donations here or anything like that. That's not who I am. It's not what I want to do. I'm not looking for a new full-time job. I retired. Okay. I enjoy doing YouTube because I enjoy sharing the information. I enjoy the community that we have. And, you guys teach me, I teach you, and all of us get better prepared for what's going on. It may not matter in a month. I think in a month we're all going to be dodging bullets anyway, but we'll see what happens. Annie, hi Pinball. I have 3-year-old gasoline from my generator. It is treated, but I'm afraid to use it in anything. Do you have any suggestions of what I could do with it? 3-year-old gasoline. I've got to think that stuff is it's treated. I get it. But unless it's been, I don't know how much you have either. I've got to think that's all gummy by now. Maybe somebody else can answer that question. I can't give you a good answer for something like that. I'm going to bet. I mean, certainly you can use it as fire starter or something like that, but I'm trying to think of something that you could test it in. But I mean, you could feasibly, you could feasibly fry an engine with it. You don't want to put it in your car and destroy the car. Get your, remember the thing. Remember the old bottles of gum out that you bought? That was for gumminess, the deposits that your gasoline got. Okay. That gasoline's been sitting for 3 years. My guess is it's got a nice rubbery film on the top of it. Prepper Place with Shauna. Thank you, Mrs. P and Michelle, for putting your lives on hold to do the coordination. Thank Randy, too. Randy's Michelle's husband, and he's been doing the same thing. So, yeah, it's been the 4 of us that haven't had a life for a week here. Crap, I just shot to the bottom. Inigo Montoya, thank you for the super chat. 5 years, congrats. Also ignore the dumb comment about the NATO alphabet. Probably not going to get to it. Let's see. I got to try to go back up here to the top and see where I was again. Okay. Michelle J says we are 3 to 4. Okay. Is that our Michelle? I'm not sure. Our other help. We are 3 to 4 hours out, meaning away from the stricken areas, and there's still no water. Yeah. Let's see. S. Cook, is it true that those who take the FEMA money have to pay it back in a year or their land is confiscated? I've seen a bunch of stories on that. I cannot confirm it. It's like you give me $750, and if you don't pay it back in a year, they're going to take your land. On $750, what are you going to buy? Okay, literally. You're not rebuilding a house for $750. $750, gets you a hotel room for a few nights and a couple of meals. I mean, maybe $750 gets somebody a place to stay and something to eat for tops a week if they're staying in a Motel 6. I don't know about this land. Land is confiscated. I'm betting most of the people who got their stuff trashed probably don't even have land anyway. So, I mean, Kamala Harris is an idiot. To say that was about as dumb as you get. We're going to give you $750. Gee, you didn't learn after Lahaina that was pretty much an insult, and they tore everybody a new asshole for that one. Let's do it again, but this time it's $50 more. Patty Foots at Tennessee's up 7-3. Thank God, because they look like crap in the first quarter. Seahorse Dreams. Bear Independent was asking for 4 Alaska shelters. Maybe get together with him and buy one. Nope, won't be doing that. I imagine he wants them to house victims. That's great. Like I said, that somebody else can do that. That's all fine and dandy. That's not our mission. So, not doing it. Michael Bettis, President should be activating the military to help. You think? Okay. I mean, how many helicopters do you think is at Fort Campbell, Kentucky? Air assault school. How many helicopters and planes do you think is at Fort Benning? I'm not going to call it Fort Liberty. I never will. Okay. I don't know. That would be airborne. Yeah, I think they might. How many specialized troops at both of those, the 82nd and the 101st, Okay. Guys that can jump out of planes. Yeah. They would be, but no, Joe's had them sitting on their butt, twiddling their thumbs for a week and a half, not helping people. Again, go watch what Michael Flynn says. Go listen to what William Fortune says. When you finish those two interviews, trust me, you're going to be pissed off. I will tell you that. Anita Culp, what about life-saving medication? The problem with buying medication is most of the time you got to have prescriptions for it. Certainly, I can't go in and say, gee, we need a whole bunch of pick a medicine. They're not going to sell it to me. Okay. That would be a medical practice somehow is going to have to get those. Fat Daddy, great job. Watch your peoples. Thanks for y'all's support. Okay. Can move on here real quick. It's always churches and preppers. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Randy Norman, last one. You can check the UT Vet School has been tasked to handle donations and lead for animal-related supplies. This is the 30th September notice on the Vet School webpage. Okay, good. So, I know the communities are coming together. East Tennessee is coming together like crazy. You would not believe the outpouring of help. Everybody is doing something. Anything that they can. Because we're used to being abandoned by the federal government down here. Okay. It's normal. And we're just showing them, as usual, we don't need them. As I said to Patero when we were taking this out today, and I'll finish with this. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Dixie strong. Pinball out.